Hi, I'm Dan Gross of the Philadelphia Daily News, and I'm here with David Boreanaz and Carla Gugino, stars of The Mighty Max, which opens on Friday. How you guys doing?
Good.
Really well.
Excellent. Now, David, I know you're from the Philadelphia area, but I don't know, Carla, if you had any experience or any kind of time here. I'm curious how you both felt about shooting the movie in this area.
I have to say it was the first time I'd ever been to Philadelphia. I love this city. We lived out in Malvern near where Immaculata College is where we shot. It was hugely important to the movie that we got to shoot here. It was absolutely a character in the movie. And the fact that this history has taken place on this soil and we got to be there with the same people in the same places and that Kathy and Ed were there with us was amazing.
Had you worked here previously?
No, this is the first time ever shooting, into Philadelphia for me, so
That's
it was
so cool.
joy. Yeah, it was great, I would say. And to just be a part of a story that I thought was really great, and to work with great people and then say, hey, do this part, and it takes place in Philadelphia, and someone who actually used to take me to basketball games, in high school. I used to go to the NBA games with Ed Rush, so there was a lot going on for it, and like Carla said, it's such a central character to shoot a story like this that was so honestly depicted, that to shoot it in Philadelphia and go to Immaculata College and be part of these characters' journeys.
I was curious, like, how is it, playing real people? Is there like an added pressure because you feel like you got to, capture them right?
I always love it actually when there's a real challenge that is, like if Kathy didn't like what I did, I would be really bummed.
You get insight into the person's life, and you apply that, and whatever you interpret that is, and its relevance to the character, and obviously to the story, and creating, a sense of conflict. From my perspective, from my character's perspective, was a sense of conflict with her character, and then wanted to really heighten and explore that early on in the piece, and just being the husband and the guy who's got the profession and is at home and is like expecting dinner, and not like I'm gonna go coach. Like that's what my character was, portraying. So.
And at that time, in some ways, it was a reflection on, could the husband not? Was he not really the breadwinner? Or, it was such an interesting time. Like, I feel like this relationship in the movie is so key to giving you also context. First of all, seeing two people in love who are in a hard time, but also giving you context to what really was expected at that time from men and from women.
Now, you've also been a seductress a number of times in movies. This seems like a more wholesome role than a lot of people have seen you in before. Was it a nice departure to play like this is no swearing, no
right,
like that.
but what's interesting is I've also done Night at the Museum and Mr. Popper's Penguins and Spy Kids and Race to Witch Mountain and done a lot of family movies.
Absolutely.
So it's actually something, this is a departure for me as a character just because he's a very different character than I played, but I was never looking at it as wholesome or unwholesome, or I don't ever look at it like that. Like for me, it's just about characters and what those pieces are and being true to those pieces and who their audiences are. So, but I love playing her.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I was even thinking, for David, a lot of people know you in more like of an action type role. Was this like a welcome departure to?
You know what?
To be like a swell guy.
I just enjoy the process. Whatever the character is that I'm fortunate to be able to get and work on is really what I focus and key on. And I didn't have to worry about any blood in this one, or biting necks, or anything like that, stunts, or like stunts, or pulling out my badge or anything like that. It was just a great. It was just a lot of fun.
This Friday, you'll both be seen in the Mighty Max.
Yes,
and I appreciate you guys talking to us today. Thank you very much. Good luck with the film.
Be here.
Thank you
for
having us.
Perfect.